Hi loves. So it's been a while since I've got to do a video for you. I've been super duper crazy. I'm gonna do a quick and easy look inspired by spring and motherhood in general because we usually don't have a ton of time to get ready. So I've already moisturized my face and I'm getting ready to prime. And for those of you that don't know me, I've gained a lot of new friends with the Bow collection and my makeup artistry business. So I am also a LimeLife rep. I don't only use LimeLife products, but this is my main go-to for proms and weddings and contracts that I have. I usually use this makeup because it's wax-based and it works for all skin types. So I'm going to talk about a couple products today while I am getting ready. A lot of these are my faves, but I do want to throw out front that I am a representative of LimeLife. So all right, so this is the primer I use. It goes on the skin very smooth. It shrinks your pores. If you're not using a primer, think about it. After you moisturize, priming is super duper important because it's kind of like when you put something on the wall. You don't want your skin to drink up your makeup, or you don't want it to be so oily that it slides right off your face. Now, if you use LimeLife foundation, and you have oily skin, for some of you have tried it and have really oily skin. I have one of my, Stacy, who is on my team, told me that one of her customers is super oily. She uses the translucent powder right after the primer, then the foundation, and then the powder again, and it makes a huge difference for her. So that's just a little tip for you guys. My eye primer I use is by Sigma Beauty, and it is called Persuade. Sometimes I wear this by itself as an eyeshadow. It's just a really nice primer to hide my little blue veins in my eyes because I personally have rosacea and just like a little bit of red tone skin, so I get little veins in my eyes that are blue. And depending on if you're cool toned or warm toned, you would be an olive or a Shinto. So you can message me and I can help you get matched, or you can comment below and just say, hey sister, hook me up. I had to wash my hair early because we went to the carnival last night and someone threw up on a ride, and the carnival people decided it was a great idea to pour a bucket of water in there and then just spin the ride as fast as they could. So I was just a little scared that I had maybe something in my hair, literally. So it doesn't have a lot of products in it. It's pretty naked. I did use just a little bit of root amplifier and a little bit of healing clay in my hair, but I figure I'll really put some product in my hair later, so bear with me. Okay, so after I prime my eyes, I always want to put a little translucent powder over them. You want your finger to be able to slide smoothly. You don't want any skips in your eyeshadow. A lot of times if you see that people have put on an eyeshadow and where they set the brush, the color deposits just a little bit darker than everywhere else, and this will kind of prevent that from happening. This, and when you start with your brush, always starting in the outer corner, which I'll show you when we do our eyes. Today is a super soft, simple look, so I'm not gonna go total glam with my eyes or contouring. I'm just gonna do something that I feel like everybody can do that will be easy for you. So just want to rock the mom look today. So I have my spoolie here and my eyebrows, so I do have mine microbladed, so that sometimes I'll just wear gel and go, but I just like to fluff mine out. And then on the tails, I'll brush down where I can see any little imperfections I have. And lately, you know, a lot of you know that I use either an eyeshadow or I use Anastasia Brow Dip, but I've got this stuff called Iconic, and it's kind of like a sponge. I've showed you in some of my videos. I really like that, and then I've been putting the LimeLife light colored brow gel on. Some days I just use the brow gel. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to really do anything more than my natural line. When I had my eyebrows microbladed, that was one of the best decisions I made. My body metabolized a lot of the dye, but I do like that it gave me a simple shape that I can fill in daily. And now when I go swimming, I have eyebrows. So if you ever have questions or want some information on that, let me know. And I can hook you up if you are local. And if not, I can at least give you some advice before you go under and pay that, because I get a lot of questions like, does it really hurt? And no, it doesn't, because they numb it. The worst pain to me was like afterwards. It burned. I had to put Vaseline on because it was just like little cuts in the skin. It was dry. And so once I did that, I was A-okay. All right, so next I'm going to use my brow gel. And I love it because it has little bitty tiny T-fibers in it that just look like real hairs. It is super easy. It brushes my brow back into place. So what I do is I brush up on this side and then I brush down where I had brushed the hair to be able to see my natural gaps. And maybe I'll get a video that won't be terribly interrupted today because my daughter has gone swimming at the Y with the neighbors. She loves to swim all year round, and he's a professor at Gardner-Webb, so he takes her over there because his daughter and her are best friends, and I'm just so thankful for them. All right, so I finally got in the new Lime Life eyeshadow palette. It's so cute. It was one of our spring lines. You right now have to order it as a set. I'm sure that eventually we will have these individual. They have cute names like Budding Romance, Pure Marigold, Whoopsie Daisy, Always Greener, Blue Violet, and Forget Me Not. So they're really pretty colors, really pigmented. I'm gonna be using those. I'm gonna throw in a little bit of the Riviera by Anastasia because I really want to pull some of this Monte Carlo here and maybe a little bit of the Coastline here. These are super cute. I had one of my prom girls, she wore a dress that was like a tan color with the teal in it. And if you haven't followed me on Less English Makeup, that's my LLC page where I put a lot of my looks, but I also put them on my page. We used a little bit of that on her looks, so go check it out. Make sure you like and follow it. I always appreciate any support that you guys give, whether you're local or not. Just liking and sharing is a lot of support sometimes. So Lime Life's come out now with our waterproof liners, and I had a waiting list, so I've gotten everybody's in now. I'm just waiting on 1 or 2 more people's other products to come in so that I can deliver these. So I'm going to tight line this into the top, which is super simple because I'm not going to wear like any kind of black liner today. I'm going to put this on the waterline because it is waterproof and it makes me look awake. I like it because it's not like a white or very stark nude. It's a subtle, soft nude. And no matter what your ethnicity, it looks great in the waterline to kind of make you feel like you look awake. It doesn't stand out as harsh as a white or like a pink violet does. All right, so I'm gonna hold my eyelid. I'm just gonna run this on the inner upper eye up into the lash line. And that's what you kind of call tight line. And it just makes the lashes look fuller at the base. You can use a black, but because I'm blonde headed and I'm going for a super natural, I'm going to use the brown one that we have. This also doubles as a really good eyebrow pencil for those of you that need a darker one, and it's waterproof so it stays in place. You can still get those short hairs. People have been asking me, you do have to sharpen these, but I want you to see just how amazing the quality is. So right there, it was just super simple. They glide on super easy, folks. All right, so I'm gonna grab me a fluffy brush here. And I always tell you guys how to hold it. This is your ferrule. If you're gonna wanna do something precise, you're gonna hold up close. If you want more of an easy laid back look, you're gonna hold farther away. A lot of people feel most comfortable in the middle. I have like a little makeup rag I keep on my legs, so I wanna clean out any product. I usually spray my brushes, but sometimes the eyeshadow brushes, I wash them every other Sunday. Might have another color in them because yesterday I used the Morphe Bronze Gold palette. It was really pretty. I liked it a lot. So I'm gonna grab some of this Pure Marigold, and I'm not gonna grab a lot. I'm just gonna tap my brush lightly. I'm gonna start in my outer corner, and I'm going to go back and forth slightly. You can do a back and forth windshield wiper stroke. You can do short mini strokes, or you can do what I like to call the circular motion as well. When I'm really blending, I always follow up with that circular motion. Sorry, my hair always has a mind of its own, so I'm trying not to touch it where I don't have a lot of product in it, but I also don't want it to be in my eye. But I don't want to look like the Lion King today, hun. All right, so the opposite color on the color wheel from blue, for you that don't know, is orange. So you can pop some of this Marigold on, and it really just gives you a nice little crease, but a brightener as well for the eye. It's super pretty. So honestly, I could probably blend it all the way down and be ready to go. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the Whoopsie Daisy. It's kind of like a creamish, yellowy tone. I'm gonna use that same brush and I'm just gonna fill in below. And I'm gonna take what's left and just go right under my brows, because remember, we're doing super simple today, so I'm not gonna be using like 1,000 brushes like I normally would. I'm gonna use a couple. All right, so I am going to next take a little bit of my primer spray. I'm gonna spray a flat brush here. Come over to my Riviera palette and I'm going to grab a little bit of this Monte Carlo. And I'm just going to lightly, probably a third of the way, I'm going to put this under my lash line. I don't want to look like I have pink eye, so I'm going to take a little bit of the Marigold on top. And I will blend that in when I'm finished, but that's just to give me just a little pop of color under my lashes that I'm going to be doing. I'm gonna grab me a little bit of a flatter brush, do the same thing, clean it out, and I'm gonna take that same Monte Carlo, and I'm only going to set a little bit in the corners here. I like to use a flat brush because I feel like I can control it more. It can be a little bit fluffy like mine is, or it can be completely flat. And all I'm doing there is I'm just really filling in that color. I'm gonna clean the brush out now. I'm gonna just use like a little swirl motion. If you have a hooded lid, you can pick your eye up like I do sometimes, or you can just kind of leave it. And I'm going to just kind of swirl it in. There's no wrong or right way. You can do it too much though. You can blend it to where there's none at all left. So just, if you do that, I always say take your finger, you can kind of dab it back into the product, just add a little bit on top, and I'll show you how to do that, because sometimes I blend so good that I take on my eye makeup away. I'm actually going to grab a little bit of this Palmero. It's kind of like more of a shimmery color, and I'm just going to lightly put just a tiny, tiny bit on top. Your fingers are your very best tools that you have, so use them. They're always there for you. All right, so this Budding Romance is super, super pretty, and I'm gonna grab a little thin brush. I'm gonna grab a little bit, and I'm just going to put it right here around the little ball and pull it down. So today's look is just about being a fresh, easy breezy eye look. So I'm gonna set that eyeshadow palette to the side in case I need it for any kind of touch-ups, and we're going to move to concealer now. All right, so I've had a little bit of problems sleeping lately. I don't know what's going on, but I do think I have a heel spur, and I don't know if you guys know, I'm in nurse practitioner school. So actually every class I'm in, I'm probably diagnosing myself with way more stuff than I need to. My friend Amber, that's precept of me, we're both talk about how we're hypochondriacs, but when you know more, it just makes you more aware. But I really do think I have a heel spur because it hurts after rest, and I'm having a little trouble walking, so it's keeping me up a little bit at night. So long story short, I really like 2 different under eye concealers for when I'm covering up circles. I use an orange base because my circles are a little bit more brown, and you can use it for blue as well. I can actually post in my VIP group a little chart that'll help you guys out. Lime Life makes a color number 4 that's pretty bright. That's great, but I really like this color too. When I have had, it's called Master Camo, and it's the Face Studio, and this is the orange tone, so I like it. You can kind of crank it up. It doesn't take much, and I'm just gonna come right under here. So I would probably put this on products that I love. I think I paid less than $10 for it. It lasts a good while. You just do a couple cranks. I like that it's thicker. It's not so thick that it bothers me, but it's thicker, so I like using it. So then I'm gonna get out my wax-based foundation and concealers. I know that a lot of you know this, but I like to say it for all the new people because I've seriously got probably 120 new friends on Facebook lately, so they don't know everything about me or how I teach makeup. Our foundation's made by the Research Council for Makeup Artists. They did take out the parabens for Lime Life, which is great because I can't use parabens in my hair. I don't like them even near my forehead. Our concealer is made by Kryolan, who does special effects makeup. It's waterproof, it stays in place. Kryolan is one of the best products that I've ever seen. They were a big feature at the IMATS in Georgia this year when I went. So I'm really proud that our concealer is made by them. So I use 01 and 02. So 01 gives me a little bit of a brightener, and I don't know if you can see, I'm 38 years old, or 37. I'm aging myself one more year. I feel like I got these little creases now, and especially during sinus season, I'm puffy. So I'm gonna kind of conceal those today by using the lightest color, and you're going to put them on. And I always call myself the Lorax when I do it, just because I think I look cute, like I have a little mustache. When you're color correcting, you want to do it under your foundation. When we go to brighten, we're gonna do it, or maybe conceal a bump. I do a lot of that on top of my foundation. So my nose gets a little red, so I like to kind of put a little bit of that same concealer around my nostrils. Now, if this were not an easy peasy look, I would probably run it up my nose and start the contouring process. But today, like I said, we're going to do something that everybody can do. And if you don't know how to wear makeup, I do professional classes. I have a beginners and intermediate and an advanced. I do Skyping, and I also do them in person. I'm certified, and I have a partner that when her schedule's free, she's an esthetician that sometimes will teach a big group as well. So if you have a party group or anything like that, you can message me. All right, so I look a little crazy right now, but this concealer is waterproof. Like I said, it's a wax base. Look how great it is, and it covers, but you don't feel like you're wearing makeup. I had a couple people for prom that had a little bit of breakouts. It's okay if you have a breakout with this stuff. I don't recommend you sleep in it, but if you did, it's not going to destroy your pores. And this makeup sits on top of the skin. All right, so favorite brush in the world is by Morphe. It's the 444. You can get it online or at Sephora. I like to put it in my foundation, just kind of twist it like this. And I wear Olive 2. In the winter, I wear Olive 1. So I'm going to pick up my hair. And you can see that I just barely dot it on my face right here. So I'm just going to show you. Okay, so I'll start with my forehead, and like I said, I use a lot of products, and I use some stuff from rosacea. Mine is much better, but rosacea is a lot of times an inflammation in the skin, so I'm gonna always probably have just a slight amount of redness. And so this covers super good. If you're really red, olive's usually a great one for you. It just depends on how dark you want to be, like how much of that red you want to cover. Do you want to look more of a Shinto? I think sometimes though you have to be careful. You can pull a little yellow if you're my color, way too yellow. At least the olives give me still a slight peachy tone, but they don't look like I'm super red. And notice how it covers right on top of the orange base color, but now you look brighter. I don't know if you notice, I don't just cover the circles, I go in an upside down triangle, and that is to give the illusion to the eye and pull down, because if you just set it right on top of it, you are focusing in on a problem. So as always, I hope you're learning something from the videos. I ran into a couple people yesterday that said they watch my videos and that they were very helpful. So I'm super, super thankful for each and every one of you that takes time out of your life to follow me and feels like you are benefiting just from watching the videos. All right, so now I have my foundation on, and I'm going to grab a flat brush. I love this Marc Jacobs brush here because it's kind of pliable, but it still has enough bristles. I'm gonna grab some of that concealer. I'm gonna go to the 01 because I want it to brighten up under my eyes still. And like I said, I'm going to kind of go in that same triangle pattern. I'm gonna take a little bit of the 02 and I'm going to put my Wi-Fi sign on my forehead, as like my husband would call it. A little bit down my nose and right here. And if you're in a hurry, you could skip this step altogether. I just like how it gives me a little bit of a cohesive look. Makes me seem like I'm awake. So I'm gonna take my blender, and you always wanna wet your blender. It doesn't need to be soaking wet, but if it's not wet, it's going to drink your makeup. So I want you to fill it before it's wet, and then I want you to wet it, and then make sure that you can kind of squeeze it like a peep. It might grow in size just a little bit, but you're gonna take it, and what I do, not only do I rub that in, this is how I get the airbrush look. I'm gonna pat it on the skin, especially near the hairline, and it's going to give me a really nicely airbrushed look. And I wanna get right up to where my eyeshadow liner was on bottom, but I don't really wanna completely take away from it. And I always have to be careful to get these little corners of the eye, so that's why I like having a pointy-ended sponge. Sponges can make or break you, so I mean, you don't have to break the bank to get a sponge. Our sponge is $20, it lasts forever. You can use it till you start seeing holes in it. They're easy to clean, but there's some tips that I can help you with on the cleaning. I think Real Techniques has good ones. I don't love Morphe's at all. They're too firm. I think they're better for cleaning up mistakes. So if you have a really firm sponge and you see me using that, it probably means I made a mistake, like with eyeshadow or something, and those are super easy to clean. So if any of my eyeshadow went way too far out, like I feel like it was too far, I'm just gonna take that same sponge and I'm gonna clean it up. All right, so, oh, my hair is getting in my nose, making me itch. All right, so next I'm gonna take this sponge and I'm gonna roll it in some translucent powder, just like that. I'm gonna set it under the eye. And some people ask me, what is baking? I don't do like heavy baking like you see a lot of younger people do. You don't have to do it. But baking is when the natural skin warmth takes the powder and it kind of oxidizes into the skin, and it helps with being able to not have your makeup run, and it sets in place. I'm really leery if you use any kind of pigmented powder. I think that Lime Life makes a good powder. RCMA makes a translucent powder that is very similar to our powder. You can get in a tube, or I like Airspun. Today I'm using Airspun. I'm gonna use our translucent powder that's pressed all over my face because it's less thick. The Airspun's just slightly thick. So it's gonna give me that under eye look that I want, but I don't want my whole face to look thick. So I'm just gonna dust the rest of my face with the translucent powder. I'm gonna let that sit under my eyes for just a short amount of time, not long at all. The longer you leave it, the more, I guess, that it's considered baking. So I'm gonna grab my bronzer palette here. And with Limelight, you can customize your palettes. So I have a bronzer and I have a blush number 5 here. And I am going to grab a brush that's slanted, that's bristles are closer together. I'm gonna grab my stipling brush, and it has the little brush on the end. So first I'm gonna use the small brush. And since we're doing a fast look, I'm just gonna do like, kind of like a horseshoe on the nose, but I bring it into a V at the end, point it down. A little bit under the lip, a little bit into my chin crack is what I call it. All right, so I'm gonna grab the other brush and I'm gonna put bronzer on it, and I'm gonna kind of tap it. I'm gonna make what we call the backwards 3. This is like basic beginner. But today, like I said, we're doing a family outing with my son, and I'm just putting on a little bit of makeup. I cleaned all day, so I didn't get ready till later. And notice how I'm patting it into the skin. You don't want to really just swipe it all over your face. You want to have a nice transition. I have a thin brush that's got tighter bristles. When I'm really contouring, I'll use it and use darker colors on my nose and under my face to give me that really sculpt, just lost 25-pound look. But to do so, I usually use my Charlotte Tilbury cream color bronzers and contour palette. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure now that I take this brush that's stippled and I'm gonna rub everything in really good. So I like to use a circular motion, and I take what little bit of bronzer is left and I pull it towards the center so I don't have like these big white gaps. I just want it to blend very well. I don't want you to be able to tell where one started and one ended. I hate to see lines on people's face. So at this point, I'm gonna take what's left in that powder and mixing it with the bronzer, and I'm just gonna kind of rub it in. We do not need lines on our face. Now, some people might like that, but I do not prefer it. To each their own, because makeup is truly an art. So there's no right or wrong way to do anything. There's just your personal preference. I saw a funny meme the other day that I think is true, is that you almost have to have a fine arts degree now to do makeup, because dang, it's gotten good. I mean, there's a lot of girls out there, give them props, that are drawing rainbows on their eyes and stuff that I'm not as good at. But you know, you find your niche, you find your people, and obviously if you're watching, you're probably one of my people. So I'm gonna grab a round bulb brush now. I'm gonna use a blush that's a pink tone. It's from Jane Iredale and it's called Awake, and you can see obviously I love it because I've used most of it. I'm gonna have to get a refill. This is one of my favorite pinks. I'm gonna put it on the upper part of my cheek. I'm not gonna bring it down too far. I feel like that makes you look like you have bigger cheeks, or you look like you're not as awake, unless you're walking around smiling all day. So I'm gonna put it right there. All right, so next I am going to, right over top, I'm gonna use a little brush like this. I love this one right here. And it's soft, it's stippled, and I think it's by Moda. It doesn't say on here, but I'm pretty sure it's by Moda brand. I'm gonna use Wet n Wild's highlighter today, and the color Mega Glow. I think they make a pretty nice highlighter actually, especially for those days that I'm just kind of running around town. So I'm gonna put a little bit on the bridge of my nose. I don't like it on the ball of my nose. If you have a very, very thin nose, you might like that. I'm gonna put a little bit right above my eyebrows. I'm gonna set it right over top of the blush and go above it. So it kind of blends in that blush a lot, and it just gives me a very dewy, awake look. I'm gonna take my Morphe 510 brush here, and I'm just gonna rub it in together. I take a little bit of what's left, rub it on my eyes. I just like to get that little bit of glow there. All right, super, super easy, right? All right, so next, we're gonna do eyes and lips. So it's your preference if you wanna do your mascara first or your lips first. I'm gonna do my mascara first today. So I'm gonna use two colors. I'm gonna do what's called minking. I really won't do it real fancy because like I said, I'm in a hurry today. So I'm gonna use Bad Gal Bang, which is my favorite mascara. It's by Benefit, and I'm gonna use that color black, and then I'm gonna put a little layer on the ends of the lashes, especially the bottom and the very tips of the new Lime Life Brown mascara. If you are blonde-headed or even a light brown, black can sometimes look harsh, especially for a daytime look. It's a dead giveaway that your lashes probably aren't real. And so I like to use, excuse me, the brown on top to give me that natural fullness, but also I just think it just transitions very nicely. So I'm putting this more at the root of the lash, because see how blonde my lashes are? They're really long. I have super long lashes, but I have to add a little color to them because they're so blonde. All right, so I go back and forth. I do the back side and the front side, and I kind of do them both in a swoop, like I start on the back and just kind of go back and forth and just weave that mascara in. I like the Bad Gal Bang because it is adding volume to my lashes. I don't need length like I do volume, so I really like the Urban Decay Troublemaker. I love Christian Dior. I also like the Benefit. They're Real, or probably my top mascaras if you were to ask me. I just got that on my nose, and I'm going to show you guys a trick. Some of you might know, but some of you probably don't. So you're going to let that dry. You're not going to touch it while it's wet. A lot of times out of instinct you want to just grab it, and it sometimes can smear. So you're going to let it dry for a minute, and then you're going to take it off. So I think that I've taught a couple of you guys this, especially people that have been at my makeup events. So, all right, so now that it's dry, I scraped it right off, and it didn't smear my makeup. It didn't take my makeup off. A lot of times when I'm cleaning up under a bride's eyes, I'll just run it across because I've tested and everybody says it doesn't hurt. And then I like to take this clean brush and curl my lashes with it while they're still wet on bottom, and then sometimes on top. And apparently I like curling my nose today too, because you just saw that. So, all right, so I'm gonna go to grab the brown now, and I really like this brown. It's like a pretty chocolate brown color, and I'm just gonna add a little bit on the tips. I just think it gives it a really pretty look. And when you're putting your mascara in, you want to make sure and pull it out. I think that this new brown formula seems a little bit creamier than the black by Lime Life to me. So I don't expect to get any clumping. It's a one-step fiber. It's 20 bucks. So if you need it in your life or any of these products, whether they're Lime Life or whether there's something else that you have a question about, you can direct message me or you can comment below and I will help you. I go shopping at Ulta with my girls all the time, or I do consults by Skype, and especially if you're somebody that's taking my class or one of my regular clients, they're free of charge. This is just something that I'm passionate about, is you feeling your best. I do charge for the classes. I don't charge to like teach you about Lime Life or do makeup applications. I had some confusion from someone on that, but I do not charge for that. Just if you're getting professional makeup done, or you're getting a true makeup class where you're learning and you're getting a notebook to go and you're getting some to-go products from me as part of the course. So anytime you ever want to try or be color matched or meet just to talk about those products, I'm happy to do so. All right, so as you can see, just adds a really natural look. See how it just looks like your skin's glowing. So I usually will go ahead and prime my face before I put my mascara on. So I'm gonna kind of prime around it, or set around it, I'm sorry. I use the Time Setter. It's 16-hour spray. We have one for oily skin as well called Oil Strike. That is probably my second most favorite product after the concealer and foundation, because I call them number one together because they're tied for me. But this is what keeps my makeup in place. I had all my prom girls call me, and pretty much every bride. I had a pageant last week. Pageant girl called and told me that everything held up. Of course, the lipstick, you know, you got to reapply. But that their face makeup was so good. And then I heard from my niece who was in the pageant. Her mom was telling me today that she felt like her face was so pretty she didn't want to wash it, which that's what it's all about for me. It's not about the money. It's about women empowerment. Of course, I like to make a little income for my family, but I really like to empower other women. And we're almost done with our look. It's 32 minutes, and that's with me talking to you guys. So you could super do this look fast. So I'm gonna use our Ruby Chocolate. This is a cult favorite. It's coming back in stock here in the next week or so. I'll be able to get probably one or two for you directly, but if you want to get one, let me know. And I'm gonna use my new obsession, which is our lip gloss in Inspire. So I was never a lip gloss person before, but I've slowly became one. I'm going to be doing some swatches on all the new lip glosses, and I'm going to go back through and do all of our Enduring lip colors soon too, so check out those videos shortly. All right, I always like to use a lip brush. I think it looks more professional. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of the Sigma. It's called Lovesick. It is a lip-based pencil on top. I didn't put it on bottom because I don't want it too pink. I'm gonna blend that in, but it gives me just like a nice little neutral pink base. But I'm not gonna line my whole lips today, I just threw it on. But a brush is what makes the difference in someone that's makeup looks pro versus when I throw it on in the car and my husband let me walk into Chili's Saturday with lipstick on the side of my face. I was so embarrassed. I was like, I'm a makeup artist, Brett, and you're letting me look like that. He really didn't notice though, bless his heart. I think he would tell me I look good if I wore like a paper bag. So I'm gonna put that lip gloss on, and it's so pretty. I'm just gonna stifle it in. And I like to take just a little tiny bit. I have a concealer called Age Rewind by Maybelline, or you can use like even your Lime Life. I just think it's easy because this one has a sponge on it. I'm going to put that concealer in the middle. This one's called Sable. All right, and there you have it. You've got your mama makeup look. You're looking fresh for the spring. It took us less than 30 minutes literally to get through this whole look to talk about things, but as always, I'm here for you. I am a Christian comedian. I also do makeup, anything healthcare related, and I'm a Beau Stegall hair educator. So if you fit into any of those categories, want to know more about me, I appreciate you watching my page. Make sure that you're following me on Instagram. Also, I've started a YouTube channel now too where you can find my videos easily. And I have my makeup page, Less English Makeup, and Pretty Little Lighters is my Lime Life makeup. I'm kind of merging those into one page, but I do have a VIP group. And that group is for people that want like one-on-one help. So if you want to be in that group, I keep it kind of small and interactive. So if you are in it and you're not interactive, it's no offense to you personally, but I usually will take you out just to give space for more people. I do want to say, look at this eyeliner. Like I told you, it's waterproof. So there you go. All right, you guys have a great night. We're gonna go watch the Avengers movie and spend some time with my favorite people.